Hello and welcome to the programme. Tonight, a cabinet reshuffle by the Prime Minister, including a new Scottish Secretary. Out goes Ian Murray, the party's longest-serving Scottish MP, and in comes Douglas Alexander amid a widespread shake-up. A shipyard in Fife is expected to win a contract worth more than £1 billion to build frigates for the Danish Navy. We'll have all the sport with Lewis, who's in Denmark tonight.
Yes, I'll be live here in Copenhagen as Scotland begin their World Cup qualifying campaign against Denmark. And we hear from the pilot who's stepping away from the cockpit of the world's shortest scheduled flight in Orkney. Hello, I'm Louise Cowie. Welcome to a slightly shorter edition of the News at 7. Well, it's been a fast-moving day at the top of the UK government, with the Prime Minister reshuffling his cabinet. It's all change for the Scottish Secretary post. Ian Murray was sacked despite being the party's longest-serving MP and says he's deeply disappointed. He's being replaced by Douglas Alexander. It was all prompted by the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner quitting after a breach of the ministerial code over a property purchase. Our political correspondent Phil Sim joins us from Edinburgh. And Phil, a day of change at the top of government.
Yes, as you say, this all started with Angela Rayner's resignation after this ethics investigation found she had not sought the proper tax advice about how much stamp duty she should pay for her new flat. She has quit her 3 jobs at the top of government and at the top of Labour Party, and that has led to this huge reshuffle as the Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has sought to regain the initiative. We have a new Home Secretary, we have a new Foreign Secretary, we have a new Deputy Prime Minister, and here we have a new Scottish Secretary. Ian Murray out after only 1 year in the job, despite having spent a long time as Labour's only MP in Scotland. He says he is hugely disappointed to be leaving the government, but that he will continue to support the Prime Minister. We can hear a little bit about what his constituents here in this constituency think about now.
It's like knee-jerk reactions all the time, isn't it? A reshuffle, somebody makes a mistake, let's have a reshuffle.
Nothing really great about it. You know, to be sacked like that, it doesn't matter in any profession. But it's just a shock to me.
He's been absolutely brilliant, so that's really upsetting.
Well, that is a big surprise. I know he was very popular in this area.
Well, Ian Murray's departure clearly a big surprise. His replacement is not. Douglas Alexander was newly elected in East Lothian, just along the coast from here last year, but he has loads of experience of government under Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. Indeed, he's been Scottish Secretary before. So he is now back in the cabinet. He was also recently made co-chair of Scottish Labour's election campaign for next year. For all the sense of shock, I think he will find a lot of support from his colleagues because they know it is really important that they get back up and running ahead of that election campaign. They need to turn things around because we've already seen the SNP capitalising to say that this Westminster chaos just makes the case for Scottish independence. All of this really just fuels the fire of that Scottish Parliament election campaign, which is already fully up and running.
Absolutely. Thanks, Phil. A busy old day for you again. Thanks for that. The Rosyth Shipyard in Fife is expected to win a contract to build 4 frigates for the Danish Navy, worth well over £1 billion. It's also one of 2 remaining bidders for at least as big an order for the Swedish government. It follows a major export contract win for naval shipyards in Glasgow. Earlier, I asked our correspondent David Henderson to explain the details.
Well, there are lots of big European contracts to build warships up for grabs right now, and it seems that Scottish yards are well placed to win a major share of that work. We've learnt that the Babcock yard at Rosyth in Fife is now expected to win a £1 billion contract building warships for the Danish Navy. They want 4 frigates. These are warships designed for anti-submarine and air defence work. Those contracts, we're told, have been under discussion for more than a year, and a final decision, an announcement is due in the coming months. We've also learnt that they're one of the final 2 bidders for a contract with the Swedish Navy to build up to 7 warships. They're facing stern competition from French makers for that work. But what a boost to the yard that would be if they were to secure that contract as well. And remember, all this comes just a week since another Scottish yard, BAE Systems on the Clyde, won that enormous contract with the Norwegian Navy worth upwards of £10 billion. And as you'd expect, one of the main shipyard unions says all this has huge potential.
Well, I think it shows the confidence in the shipbuilding industry in Scotland. It shows we have a history of building great ships, and now that history is now being rewarded with these contracts, should they be awarded.
So why is all this happening now?
Well, in a word, Russia, European countries are spending more on defence than they did to counter what they see as a growing military threat from Russia, and dwindling support from Donald Trump's America too. So they're looking for ways to bolster their defence, bolster their sea power, and that means buying more warships from abroad, and pronto.
Right, let's get a roundup of the stories making the BBC News app in Scotland. Dundee University could face a fresh strike from members of the University and College Union as a new ballot on industrial action begins. The union wants compulsory redundancies ruled out. A lorry driver has been charged in connection with a one-vehicle collision on the M90 in May. His vehicle crashed through a motorway flyover near Perth and landed on the road. Scotland's charity Air Ambulance has unveiled what it describes as the UK's most advanced medical transport helicopter. The high-tech aircraft will replace its current helicopter at its Aberdeen base. Well, for more on all these stories, you can scan the QR code which is on your screen now. It will take you to the BBC Scotland News app, where there's more for you, including the Scots, who will be part of the new series of the Channel 4 show Gogglebox. Still to come, we have the weather with Gillian and the pilot who's retiring after decades flying the world's shortest scheduled route in Orkney. But first, it's sport with Lewis, who's in Copenhagen for us tonight.
Thank you very much, Louise. Yes, I'm here in Copenhagen because Scotland begin their World Cup qualifying campaign tonight against the host Denmark. The top seeds in Group C, and as you can tell, the atmosphere is starting to build. That's the home side that I've just ran out here behind me. Scotland were out 5 minutes or so ago, and I can bring you the team news now. It is an interesting option from Steve Clarke to bring Lyndon Dykes in alongside Shea Adams in a front two, a system he hasn't often opted for. No Billy Gilmore or Ben Gannon-Doak in that team, and it is the task that is on their plate is to get to a World Cup for the first time in 27 years. So let's gauge the mood in the Scotland camp.
We were here last World Cup qualifying. We know it's a tough place to come. They always play well at home, the Danish team. Very aggressive, get after you. So we know we have to defend well, but we also know we have to play well. When we have the ball, we have to play, we have to try and create chances, and hopefully we can come away with a nice positive result to start the campaign.
It's mad to think it will be over in November, and so yeah, there's only 6 games and it's a competitive group, and we know getting off to a good start's crucial, and hopefully we can do that, and then it stands us in good stead for the next 2 international breaks.
Well, as I mentioned, the atmosphere is starting to build because a lot of the fans are making their way into the Parkin Stadium here. A lot of Scotland fans have travelled. Not all of them even have tickets to get into the game tonight, but earlier I went out and about in the streets of Copenhagen to speak to a few of them and see how they're feeling for tonight.
Yeah, and there's no reason why the team can't. I think we're a good team, we're a good side. Yeah.
I think the squad are good, and we've had a lot of players who are coming back from injury, and it's just the squad looks pretty, it's solid across the park at the moment, so I'm hopeful that we might.
We were in Norway when we were getting beat 1-0 and Haaland scored, and nobody thought we'd win that game. It'll be similar tonight.
Are we going to qualify for the World Cup?
Are we going to qualify for the World Cup? Absolutely, we're qualifying for the World Cup. What sort of question is that? We'll be there. We'll be in the USA, Canada, Mexico. See you there, guys.
No shortage of confidence, maybe no shortage of beer either, to be fair. Well, what about tonight's opponents, Denmark, then? They are top seeds in this group, so will be favourites to qualify automatically. and they have appeared at the last 2 World Cups as well, getting to the last 16 in 2018, but they were beaten by Scotland last time the sides met, and there's plenty of respect for Steve Clarke's side.
We're playing against a tough team with a lot of good players who also recently in their clubs had a lot of good, let's say, had a lot of success individually as well. So it will be a tough game, and probably for me, the best Scottish team since I've been playing with the national team.
Well, it is the only sports story on the go tonight, isn't it? And you can follow all of the action by tuning in right here on the BBC Scotland channel shortly. Coverage follows us immediately here on the News at 17. You can also watch on the BBC Two, and there is radio coverage available for you as well. So a huge night lies ahead. Can Scotland finally make it back to a World Cup for the first time since the turn of the millennium? Here's hoping. Back to you, Louise.
Thanks, Lewis. I hope you're not going to get led astray by the Tartan Army now. Now, he's been the pilot of the world's shortest scheduled flight between Westray and Papa Westray in Orkney for over 2 decades. But Colin McAllister has just completed his final journey on the Inter-Island Air Service. The Loganair pilot has been telling us why he's enjoyed the experience so much.
I've flown something like 9,000 hours in the North Isles. So it must be something like 40,000 flights I've conducted. There's a lot of excitement for the shortest scheduled service. It brings folk from all over the world. There's so much that I like about this job. Flying with the passengers. It's quite an immersive job. I don't just fly the aircraft. I do a bit of baggage handling, getting folk on and off the plane. I'm the cabin crew as well as the first officer and the captain. I've taken children from into school at primary age and seen them now as adults having their own families. I've known teachers for over 20 years from flying them backwards and forwards, and I know people from in fact I probably know more folk on the Isles than I do on mainland itself. Not everyone gets a chance to retire from the job that they enjoy, so I'm happy to get here, and I'll miss it without a doubt, but happy to have done it for 20 odd years.
What a wonderful job. Right, time for the weather now, and here is Gillian.
Good evening to you. We've had some sunny spells on offer today. Lovely blue skies over Nairn a little earlier. It's down to high pressure, which has been building in from the south. We have had a few showers around. They've been mainly affecting western Scotland. And tonight we'll continue to see a few for the Western Isles, the Northwest Highlands, a few pushing into Dumfries and Galloway later in the night. Otherwise, it will be dry with some clear spells. Temperature-wise, 9 to 12 Celsius for most of us, but a wee bit cooler than that in some inland spots in Aberdeenshire. Now tomorrow, lots of dry weather to start. We'll have some areas of cloud drifting northwards through the day, producing a few pockets of light rain and drizzle, not amounting to much at all. This is the picture around about 4 o'clock. Good sunny spells for the Northern Isles, the North Highlands, much of the northeast. There'll be some areas of cloud, but still some good sunny breaks. Southerly winds tomorrow, bringing in warm air from the near continent. So temperatures up on today's values, 20, 21 Celsius. Perhaps just 1 or 2 showers affecting Argyll and the Northwest Highlands, and it will become increasingly windy along the west coast. And into tomorrow evening and night, those winds continue to ramp up. It will become very blustery, still largely dry, a mix of areas of cloud and some clear spells. Tomorrow, the better day of the weekend, because we head into Sunday with low pressure in charge. It will be very windy and quite unsettled. We'll have showery outbreaks of rain pushing northwards, heavy at times, perhaps with the odd rumble of thunder. Winds ramping up with gales for the west coast. That's the forecast.
And that's all from us, but do stay tuned for the game, which is up next. Bye for now.